New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
We've only used the third mic once.
Yeah. Oh, no, we used it with Sloan, we used it with Patrick, and we used it with Blake and Will, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Turns out, like, two guys, one mic is not as ideal as it sounds.
No.
Well, yeah. What can you do? But
God.
now, our future guest will be the perfect candidate for our third microphone, our third position, our throuple. I've always wanted to use
Perfect
that.
candidate. You make it seem like we're doing like a secret science experiment on them.
Or-
Here, drink this potion. Come on over.
I am steepling my fingers.
That's the best term I've ever heard.
I rarely get to do it. I do that. I tried to do it once when ordering food, and I was asked to leave.
I figured that's all you did when you're driving around the Celsius waiting at lights.
Yep.
Because you got, it's automatic, so
Yep.
you can just...
I just pull on the cord on my blazer to create the hunch, and then I steeple my fingers. Steeple my fingers. But anyways, yeah, I think we are recording now.
Yeah. Okay. I gathered.
That's what the red light is, Kevin.
Got it.
That's why I installed the whole room. I replaced all the bulbs with red lights just so we knew when we were recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the 20th episode of New for 96. Oh my God.
I had to bring in the enthusiasm for number 20.
Oh my God. We don't like drive the computer crazy anymore with our over enthusiastic intro.
That's all about to change.
Yeah. You were doing like tiny voice earlier, which was a terrible way to gauge sound levels, and so I actually don't know if we sound okay.
Well, you never
I don't
tested
know
it
if you
again
sound
until
okay.
we started recording.
I know, but it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine. But yes, I can't believe we've recorded 20 plus hours of ourselves talking.
It's really something.
Really a good use of resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bandwidth, whatever else. Whiskey. That's good use of whiskey.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The last episode, I noticed we did not uncork once.
Really?
And our listenership dropped to 0. So they were only here for the good times.
Yeah.
Not the okay times.
I wasn't even there for that one.
Yeah. Nope. Man. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the airwaves, digital airwaves, ones and zeros. How have you been? Even though I've seen you multiple times since.
Yeah, I saw you yesterday.
That's true. Yes.
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. You've been forced to drive the 911 around as a daily again.
Well, I've been under like house arrest because of our plumbing issue.
Yeah.
And then, which is too dumb to go into, but I had to be there for plumbers and drywall people and stuff every day this week.
Yeah. That's the worst.
And then my sister borrowed the Prius because she is having work done on the Fiesta, but they haven't actually started it, and she took the Prius on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's now Friday.
You used to drive the SC like daily for like a year, right?
Yeah.
More than a year or just a year?
I mean, probably about a year.
Okay. And that was like day to day, go get groceries, whatever.
Yeah.
So now that you have the buffer car,
Mm-hmm.
like, is it like stressing you out, like not having like the buffer anymore?
I mean, kind of like, if it's like raining or rush hour or both, I don't really want to go out. And in the Prius, I don't really give a second thought to it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit annoying. And also it's really cold right now. Like it went down to 39 and my heat is not working.
Yeah.
So that's distressing.
That is a little terrible. Not having heat. I find it terrible. This is not like a meant to be I like fancy things type thing, but like I have a problem not having heated seats. Like I feel like I'm dying. Like I cranked the heat up to 84 in the car, and I'm still not warm enough. I need those heated seats, and
Wow.
I have one car with heated seats, the Celsior, which again is useless because the heated seats are in the back. So the driver gets no comforts.
That is amazing.
Sit on an L-shaped plank to operate the car. But I do feel like that too. Although I've not like been without a daily driver or the buffer car in a while, but there is kind of a relief. Like when the weather gets inclement, you can put it away, and then like the other car, I care about the E91, the wagon, but like I almost revel and enjoy in it getting like dirty and rained on and like muddy.
Yeah.
And like this summer, I think I plan to get it paint corrected, and I don't think I'm gonna get it a ceramic or anything on it.
I mean, the thing that I kind of realized the last time you went through the Celsior paint correction thing is like the ceramic. Like if you don't have, I mean, you could do paint correction and wax and just be really diligent about keeping it waxed.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you do paint correction and then nothing, like your paint is basically vulnerable.
I know.
You're if you don't do the ceramic, like the ceramic is protecting that paint correction.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if like once the ceramic is then applied, like then I feel like this need to protect the ceramic itself, and so I get very OCD about
the ceramic is more durable than bare, like bare exposed paint.
Yeah, I probably should get at least some basic coating on it of some kind. But right now, it's really freeing not having the coating on it. In fact, like my dirty secret is that I take that car through an automated car wash, and it feels kind of great. Just it's a 5-minute ordeal. I mean, I take it to, I don't know. This is probably an oxymoron, but like a nice automatic car wash, and so.
What is your nice automatic car wash?
It's Mr. Car Wash.
Is that the one on Washington?
Yeah, there's one in Washington.
I take the Prius through there.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
It's fine, but like when the rotating brushes are hitting it, like it's like slapping it against the car.
Oh yeah.
So
I have the front plate on the Prius and it's all bent up from the car wash.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's funny because I'm so accepted, like I'm so used to it being dirty because it's always dirty. So when it's clean, I'm like, it actually doesn't look that bad.
No.
Like it's really amazing. But when you accept it to be the filthy, grimy all the time.
No, that's just it. Like you have another car that you worry about keeping clean. I have another car and then another car after that I worry about keeping clean. And there's just this nice mental relief. Like it's almost like sadomasochistic a little bit because you could keep your Prius really nice and I could keep the wagon like looking very nice. But I kind of like I kind of giggle a little bit when I see dirt on the car because the last several years has been like this like obsessive situation of keeping dirt off the car, and it was painstaking. Like I hated it, but I felt like I needed to do it.
Well, I mean, my whole life I've always tried to keep my cars as nice as I can, and I've never, even cars that weren't in perfect cosmetic shape, it's like I always strived to make them better than when I got them.
Yeah,
and like I never was like, I don't care about this paint. I don't care if I get a door ding. I don't care. Like I never have had that mindset. And so with the Prius to have that and to just not care and carry whatever in it, like dirt inside and out, it's great.
Yeah, like the thing is that like I have plans for the wagon, but like until I take the first step, I guess, of making it aesthetically. I mean, it looks nice already. It's fine. Like it's like lowish mileage, so it doesn't have like that much wear and tear on it per se. But like it could use a good polishing at this point. Like you can almost start to see like little swirls in the paint. But I guess the problem is that once I make it nice, then it just becomes another thing I have to worry about. So, and oddly enough, like with the Carrera, I don't worry about the car's paint as much because it's gray. It's just the color of nothing. And so
isn't your green even more nothing?
I guess. I don't know. There's just so much more paint. I guess it's not slab sided, but it's like there's just more like surface area, I
Right,
guess.
right.
But yeah, we'll see. I probably shouldn't. I should just get it cleaned up or keep it clean. I feel bad. Actually, I'm starting to feel bad about taking it through the automated wash, even though it's just so convenient. But I'm starting to feel bad because like I think the previous owner took very good care of the paint, which is why like it looked as good as it did when I bought it. So I'm just kind of spending that like good maintenance right now for just sick joy, I guess. But it's fine.
Yeah, I got the 911 really dirty over the weekend
Yeah.
because I autocrossed it in the rain,
Yeah.
even though it was short-lived.
Yeah.
Because I need to get the fenders rolled.
Yeah.
Apparently, because I have the 7-inch wheels in front, and it's fairly enough that on hard right turns, it was the tire was tucking up under the fender and like actually kind of pulled that part that sticks out of the fender. Like when it would uncompress, it pulled that down.
Yeah.
And this has happened once before, and it actually happened once before in this car, like earlier this maybe in December.
Yeah.
And I noticed it, and I kind of like reset it as best I could with like like a screwdriver and like a towel. And it did it again. Like literally, I could tell my third run. I could notice. I could hear it scrape like 4 different times. Where after every right turn, it would do this. So I just need to get that done. But I mean, it's good to know in this situation versus another situation.
Yeah,
I've got like that track day coming up. So at least I can fix this and be done with it. So that's just one thing to do. But the car is still filthy.
Yeah. It's fine. I didn't even notice. I mean, I saw it yesterday when it was dark. So
yeah.
But would you like? It's so weird that it's happening on just one side, or maybe I'm just not understanding how that works. But
I don't know how it works. I mean, I after like 40 years, like who knows? The geometry is probably not exactly perfect.
Yeah.
The panels are probably not fitted exactly perfect.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Would you ever just roll like that small part that's catching, or would you just roll? Well, you're not going to do it yourself.
No, I'm not going to do it myself.
If someone else is going to do it, like
they'll do it right.
Yeah.
They'll just do it right. I think there's only one way to roll it.
I was going to say because it seemed like just a small like inch and a half area where it's.
But it's enough to catch.
Catching.
I mean, it was a big flange looking thing that
makes me so nervous. I know that rolling fenders doesn't do anything. It's not really reversible.
No.
Or maybe it is. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. And so I don't know. And it doesn't matter because you just don't see it unless you're kind of really low anyways.
Yeah.
But it always makes me just nervous if you accidentally pull the fender or something.
Yeah.
And then you just really warp it. But I currently don't have that worry. Although if I ever do what you did and put 7s and 8s on there, then that's probably something I have to look into.
Probably look into it, at least for the front. The rear looks like there's plenty of clearance, and that lip is smaller.
Yeah.
There was some 7s and 8s that were like stolen on Bring a Trailer this week. Like it was like 2,700, and they looked really clean. I mean, they looked really, really clean.
I saw that. I always watch them, and then the hour like warning is not enough.
No.
Like I would almost be okay with them just daily reminding me that I have watched a thing, because I forget. Like I watch and then I just completely forget.
Or like a 10-minute email
or something.
I wish they would like. I guess they probably can't because they do so many auctions now that you couldn't do like a tweet. But I wish they would do a tweet like a 30-minute warning on Twitter, so it's like you could follow if you're like if it's not something you watched and it's like, oh, I was interested in this car, I want to see how the last 30 minutes
they
plays
already
out.
Tweet so much, like,
but that's because they tweet, because they list like 100 cars a day.
You know what would be, and I wonder if this is in the works but just not spoken of, like, but an app. Like their volume seems like to have gotten to a point where you could have an app and it would improve the experience as opposed to just doing it through your browser. I'm sure like a lot of people are looking through their phone, so an app would be kind of killer. And then you could have like reminders and like notifications, and That would be amazing, actually, if you had notifications. Because, I mean, I only I get an email. I'm usually on my laptop at the time. I rarely ever look at Brand Trailer on my phone. So
no, I never do, because you're looking at half the site. Because for me, half the site is looking at the content, and half the site's looking at all the thumbnails in the sidebar.
I do that. Yeah,
and if you don't see those, because the web version, I think, it doesn't have those.
No, or the mobile version,
right?
Yeah, no. Or maybe it's at the bottom. I didn't know.
Yeah,
but still, you don't see it. So it'd be cool if there was an app.
Yeah, it would be cool
of some kind. But who knows? Maybe down the road.
Yeah. I'm gonna drag you to that next autocross. We're gonna sign up. It'll be fun. You could enter the BMW.
Yeah, I could do that. Both those cars, I have one leaky strut on the BMW, and then I noticed today taking it out because it was cold during the day that my front creaks when the suspension is really compressed.
It's fine.
I'm sure.
This will be a cumulative, a total of 5 minutes of
it'll be fun.
Of hard cornering and moderate throttle in second gear.
No, it'll be fun. Although I still reiterate that an autocross with a group that size, a normal size group, is worse bowling in that you're just waiting for your turn. I'm so impatient.
I know, but it'll be you and me hanging out, so it'll be fun. Chris just rolled his eyes into the back of his head.
Yeah. Well, I did that BMW Ultimate Driving Experience.
But that was a sales event.
I know, but actually it was a really fun event. It was not just try out our car for a few minutes, but it was a real autocross event where they put you in a group of, I think it was 10 people, something like that. And they had several cars, so you weren't waiting a long time between turns, and you were just going at it. And my group, we had the 228i, which is actually perfect. I wouldn't, because they had the 5 Series and even the 3 Series, I don't think would have been as fun as the 2 Series in this situation. And but it was a full-on track event, and I got first place.
Ooh.
By the numbers, but I only found out afterwards when I was looking at the results. They had said it wrong, so I didn't get my run over cone as my reward. It was interesting talking to them because it was a traveling group, just the behind the scenes part. They travel for several months with these cars, going city to city, setting up these autocross events. And, they were telling me after hours, they just rip on the cars and do whatever. And I was curious what happened to these cars because obviously they get used pretty hard. But they just get sent back to a manufacturing facility and get dismantled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I guess makes sense because they can't sell them again.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't be ideal if they sold them again. So
when I was in Canada for that CX-5 event, we did some driving, but the coolest thing was they had a little autocross on snow to show the all-wheel drive.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it was was fun because there was a slalom and stuff, and you're on snow. You know, it was a completely snowed over parking lot. It snowed really heavily. And I did, so the guy that I was partnered with, that I was driving with, he wanted to get some photos and stuff. So he was just go. And we, that was the thing. It was kind of a spot on the drive route. So it was you drive, you go to a coffee shop, you go to another place, you come, and then you stop by here. So we were there for 45 minutes doing the course and taking photos, and we saw one other group.
Oh.
So we had the course to ourselves for a really long time.
That's pretty cool.
So I got to do 10 runs or whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And on my last one, I kept getting closer and closer to the cone on the slalom. And the last one, I hit the cone and it teetered for 10, 15 seconds. And then it righted itself.
Oh my God.
Not any of this matters.
Yeah.
It was not time, but it was fun to
it's seared in your memory.
It was fun to just manhandle this thing to get loose on, and just to feel the momentum of it sliding. You're going, so slow, and but you're on snow. You're on snow. So
love to do something involving car control. That would be a lot of fun, and I would just that would be just a not just value, but like fun experience. But I don't know where
PCA does a car control thing.
Do they? Oh, they do. That's
Jules
right.
was talking about it. I don't know
remember
what.
now.
I haven't seen a sign up for it. They've been really like slow to put stuff on their 2019 calendar, but I'll keep an eye out and we'll do something
That'd be
like
cool.
that.
That'd be cool.
As said in this autocross, I was so surprised at how planted the 911 was. I was just trying to be smooth, so I wasn't that abrupt with steering and braking. Like I was just, and it was wet. It was raining. Like we got hit by a rainstorm during the event, but I was surprised by how much traction there was in the rear and just how planted it was. So it gives you confidence in the car. But,
we were talking about this just that the car did exactly like what everyone describes how it's supposed to drive as advertised, basically, which is amazing, especially on like an older car like that it's still just true. The driving dynamics like haven't changed.
Yeah.
They've just been like refined over the years. But that just the form is still true.
Yeah. Well, there's just such a cool like lever aspect to a rear engine and like providing grip.
Yeah.
You know, like where it's almost like the equivalent of having a much wider tire because all of the weight is providing that grip.
Since I've owned the Carrera, 2 months, 3 months now? I've broken the rear out once. I don't have like many areas.
First gear?
Yeah. No, second gear. I was in second gear. There are places where like it's super easy to break the rear out on the E91. I want to try that on the Celsior. I don't think that's actually possible because there's so much sidewall.
When there's so little like throttle reaction, you know, like you'd have to like plant it before you make your steering.
I wonder if I could kick it down into 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be
with the Bizarro J gate.
Yeah, that would be that would be amazing if I could do that in that car. I have zero drifting plans for that car, but maybe on a rainy day somewhere, like that would be worthwhile trying. But yeah, on the 911, I haven't it was just like a perfect. It was just like enough, and it was the perfect like part of the crown of the road. So I could do it like very low speed. It was maybe 20 miles an hour. But it was. I'm like a little afraid because this is the first car, first rear-wheel drive car that I've owned that like there is no like safety net because I've made mistakes, luckily with like no real consequences, but I have made mistakes on in areas that were not ideal to make mistakes in, but luckily.
Generally, I think with 911s, like the scary reputation that they have is like if you go beyond the limit is very high. It's just all the scariness like if you exceed that.
Yeah.
But
no, we've talked about this where like sometimes it feels like the car is reaching its limit. Okay. Okay, that was weird. Kevin had just like touched the mic and it like disintegrated. But yeah, we drive kind of like we have like kind of our aggressive bouts just as much as you can have it like within city limits without endangering other people's lives. And it always like we were talking about how like we probably aren't actually approaching any like real limit. We're just not used to. We just like we haven't pushed it to the point where it's broken loose,
right?
And so we don't know where the real limit is. So yeah, you're right. Like taking this on an autocross would be kind of, even though you're not really like going to the limit, at least you feel the car more.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. You know, you're in second gear the whole time, but you can at least see what the limit of traction is in that situation and see what it can do. And if anything, it'll make you faster because you see, I'd have to really be getting out of shape to exceed the limit.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, count me in.
All right, I will.
I'll do it.
I'm signing you up. So, we went to the Houston Auto Show.
We did.
And we saw some stuff.
Yeah.
What did we see?
We didn't talk about this last episode, right?
No, because we haven't recorded because I was sick and reasons.
Yeah, reasons.
But it's been a little bit. We don't have to go too in depth, but I thought like
well,
we
were there because they always reveal at the Houston Auto Show a truck.
Yeah.
And so it was the first ever world premiere of the Dodge Ram
Longhorn, the new generation, which on the worst looking Ram.
Yeah, it was the gala night, which is such a weird. Well, it was great to get an invitation to, etc. But it is kind of a weird event, like to mix, because it's always like a truck reveal, and the people who go to this gala event.
Did they do a truck last year? They definitely didn't do. They didn't do. We didn't watch reveal.
We were at the bar.
Okay.
When they revealed it, it was the new Dodge Ram reveal, I think.
Oh, it was like an iteration. It was. I thought last year.
I think it was the Dodge Ram. Like, I would think it was the new.
But it was like, it had launched in Detroit, or something, and then it
was
wasn't
something
launched.
Because then, like, I remember reading the press release the next day. Of course, they don't say like Houston; they say like in Texas, like whatever was launched, etc. Of course, because the EVP of marketing or whatever went up and talked about various statistics, but the crowd seemed uninterested.
I think this was much more of like a normal launch than they usually do, and it was, people were not interested. But
everyone was in like a black tie and like black dress, like roaring.
But this was like the guy doing like the marketing like you would do for journalists, like all the numbers and all this stuff. It was way too technical.
Yeah, exactly.
And boring.
The balance of like guest to journalist seemed slightly off.
No, I think this was a miscalculated.
Yeah.
I think that the presentation was miscalculated. I think it should have just been like, here's some numbers, here's why it's significant, here's the truck.
Yeah.
But instead it was like 20 minutes of preamble.
Yeah.
It was misjudged for the audience. But anyway, that's not the point.
No.
Although we were looking at that Ram, like the normal Ram.
Yeah, we were looking at the normal Ram, and there's stuff to talk about there. Like that, I mean, this is like the new norm. Like, people like these trucks, not just in Texas. And I remember I made fun of the Ram just because here in Texas, chances are if you encounter a Ram driver, they are an asshole who are like fast approaching your rear end. And they're not planning on buying dinner anytime soon at that. But then I made fun of it, and I was really surprised when Daniel Golson said that his mother drives one.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if the Ram has the same reputation like elsewhere, but like I don't know that I have never not seen an aggressive like Ram driver in Houston. But it seems to be like a really well liked truck. Like
specifically this generation, it looks less like a Ram. It looks more like it could be anything else.
That's a problem in my opinion, because like the original Ram looked extreme.
Yeah.
And it kind of continued with that up until this current generation. Just with the headlights that formed the fender line was a good trademark.
Right.
And now they kind of blended everything in together.
Yeah, and everyone else has kind of had like a raised hood just to signify power, not to the extreme of Ram.
Yeah.
But everyone's kind of the same now.
It's weird because every car is aggressive now, and somehow this Ram is only aggressive in its size, and that's it.
Yeah.
And even then, it was fine. It didn't seem like that big. I guess when you stood up to the hood.
Yeah, I think trucks, I think it's kind of tapered off because it's any bigger and they won't fit in even the biggest garages, and that annoys people.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. There's something so... I don't know. It's just funny. Trucks are so weird and full of contradictions. And you were talking about how you're like, oh, the F-150 is the truck, whatever. And I always say every single person that has an F-150 would be happier with a Honda Ridgeline, 100%.
Oh, I'm sure. Like,
Absolutely. It's so much better to drive,
Yeah.
so much more usable.
because yeah, I mean, like it's obvious like truck ownership is 10% utility, 90% like image.
Yeah.
So,
But about the image, like it's just so funny. Like it's just so funny that it seemed that like they all have like acres of like plastic, like chrome plated plastic.
yeah.
And it just seems so bad. I don't know of any other segment where there's so much like fakeness. You know
I
what
agree.
I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the architecture expert that you are, but the thing I always cling to is honesty of materials.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is just like such a violation.
This is a side note, but there is a movement called Ornament is Crime.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great book out by that title that people should and you should look at as well. But it's basically it's a minimalism. It speaks to like minimalism, etc.
I'm a hugger, brother.
Yeah.
Did you see that? There's like this.
No.
There's this really bad Netflix special about these two guys that are like self-proclaimed minimalists.
Oh my
and this
God.
one guy, every time he meets someone, and like, he gives presentation stuff, and he meets someone, and he's like, "I'm a hugger, brother," and he has to give someone a hug. Like every time, it's so weird. It's so weird.
I would cringe. I would have to.
I only watched like 40 minutes of it or 30 minutes.
I would have to like motion my surrogate, my hugging surrogate to come in. I do not like being hugged. But yes, no. I agree. Okay. I will say one acceptable segment that has cladding that is maybe not necessarily true to form is our wagons, like off-road wagons, I guess. I don't know what to call them, like the XC90 Crossroad or
yeah.
Or is that what it's called? Now I'm just like, I feel like that's the name, but it sounds wrong to me. But anyways, like the all-road.
Mm-hmm. Cross country?
Cross country? Cross country. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, cross country. Or the, I was thinking about the Jetta or the Golf wagon all-road.
Sure.
Which I think they look cool. I mean, like, or even like a Subaru Outback. So they have like, it has cladding. I feel like that's kind of a controversial thing with people, like the cladding on these wagons, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But we saw, actually at the car show, we saw the
Buick.
The Buick.
Regal.
It was the Active Tour.
Yes. I think it's a Regal.
It was it?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know. It's a new product this year, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it looked fine. It did, except for like one weird detail where like the door line cut into the cladding, because obviously the cladding was an afterthought. And so, but otherwise, like, you know, I don't mind that because it does kind of, I'm a fan of like unpainted fender flares, etc. So I think it kind of works well-ish on wagons. Like, I'm a huge fan of the all-road if they weren't so terribly built.
I mean, I think it's like, it's almost like it's almost like this optimistic. If you're gonna get into the rough stuff and you get bushes scratching the side of your car, like it's not gonna do as much because this unpainted plastic is more durable.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. But with a wagon, like how many Outbacks actually go off-roading?
Hey, I'll have you know
that
the Legacy Outback actually has more ground clearance than a Forester.
Whoa!
So it's actually better.
I love that.
Off-road.
I really like the Legacy.
You know, if you told me that if I had to pick the current Legacy out of a lineup, with a gun in my head, I would not be able to. I could not tell you what it looks like.
Then I'll alter my statement. I liked the Legacy at one point because I kind of agree with you because it's gotten kind of like all mid-size.
But I mean, I feel like Subarus have just gotten so anonymous and
maybe I don't like the current gen Outback as much as I did the previous gen.
I can't picture it.
The previous gen was like, and the previous gen had like a good sedan variant. The Legacy variant was really nice too.
I don't think Subaru was at the auto show.
Oh, good point. I don't know. I don't think we did see.
We should go through some stuff we saw.
Yeah,
because I feel like we had some. You had some good observations. We saw a lot of interiors.
Yeah, we saw a lot of interiors.
It was a good chance to see some interiors of cars that we don't
always... We'll get the obvious stuff out of the way. We saw the 992.
Yeah.
Looked as it
Yeah,
it looks,
we didn't get to sit in it or anything. But the outside, it looked like it looks in pictures. It was impressive.
Good. It's good. Small details that I don't care for included the brake lights, even though like they spent the intro video.
It's a pause symbol, Chris.
I hate it so much. It looks bad, in my opinion. And then you and I both agree that the pointy script, the new pointy Carrera script, the script that says not Carrera but Larrera. It's so pointy.
Ooh, yes.
That's bad, but otherwise it looks great. Oh, the cup holder was weird.
Yeah, but we didn't see it. We didn't see the interior. You're talking about video.
No. We saw it well, I mean, it was like we could see the interior, even though the door wasn't
I don't
open.
remember looking at it.
Okay, we talked about it just slightly, I think, just in that like they dedicated so much room to the cup holder. It didn't look. It looked like an add-on cup holder.
Okay.
Yes, because they moved away from the complicated one that was even in my Cayman. The swing arm, the swing arm, which like frustratingly, the trim piece that hides it to make it look all flush, like worked 50% of the time. Thus, 50% of the time it looked terrible. So there's that. But yeah, 992 looks good. None of the Porsches were open, which was surprising.
No, I don't think so.
Not even like a Macan or a Cayenne.
Yeah.
But whatever, I guess. Lincoln Navigator.
Navigator was
one of the biggest surprises.
The best interior we sat in.
Honestly, like amazing. I was blown away because I honestly haven't thought about the Navigator since it first came out. I'm pretty sure. And that was a surprisingly quality, not just car, but concept, like through and through.
The kind of like mid-century look, the white, it was wood, right?
Yeah.
The white wood and like that like retro Lincoln logo. And
it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't kitschy. It like worked well. It looked like a true evolution of like the Continental, like the original Continental, or not the original one, but the 60s one.
I mean, there was things that I could see were like reskinned from F-150 or Expedition, but I mean, it didn't look like it. It looked all intentional.
Well, I would say
the color palette was just insane because it was like
really
the blue and white, and it was really cool. I sat in the back seat because I operated those like I think the back seats even have those independent like leg bolster.
Oh, that was really weird. Like, but yeah, I'm sure it's really like I played with the thigh support.
The thigh support. Well, actually, it's funny because it kind of curls out, and I took a video like when I was doing a Lincoln shoot thing like right before Harvey, but I shot a video to send to Laura of that thing unfurling because it reminds me of like the egg in Alien, like the aliens, like the egg.
That's just
the little like.
It's lips. Like because they separated and it has like this cleft.
It has this curl, like it's not just straight. It's not like it's just like a panel.
So I'm sure it provides the ultimate in ergonomics, but it is really weird looking. Like I took a video.
Oh, you did?
When we were sitting in that Navigator, and I sent it to someone, and like I sent it to several people, and they like everyone was slightly like maybe grossed out by it because it's just like it looks like a thing happening. Yeah. But anyways, other than that weirdness, like well worth the 100 and. How much was it? Like 100? It was 100,000 plus.
105.
Yeah. So, which is like years ago, if you told me like that Lincoln was selling a $100,000 plus automobile of any kind, I would have laughed a little bit or just been incredulous. But that is a good truck.
Yeah. In the Nautilus the other one,
the Aviator. Equivalent? Yeah,
Aviator.
It was
the Nautilus is the smaller one.
Yeah.
The Aviator looked really good on the inside. It looked like a cool interior. We didn't get to sit in it, but
the design. How in the world then did they just not execute the new Continental well?
The Continental interior is pretty good.
It's nice, but the problem is that it's for whatever reason maybe it was that they tried too hard to make the nameplate work, but it doesn't have the same cachet, like visual cachet at least, that the new Navigator has, or the.
But I mean, the Navigator also came after. Like the things they learned from Continental were applied to Navigator, and it was like I think Ford was like. I think the problem with Lincoln is always like they have had at least in the last 5 years like big goals, and then it's like Ford is holding the purse strings like. yeah, you're not going to do that. And
It's
I think Continental opened them up to do Navigator bigger.
Yeah, perhaps so. I mean, like the Navigator in the past was not competitive. I didn't feel like with
No.
like any of the other cars in that segment, and now it's amazing. Like it is just, I mean, you want a car like that to look imposing, and it looks imposing now.
Yeah.
And the
But it
Continental,
goes without saying, a lot more elegant than like an Escalade.
But completely. And but here's like I feel like the Continental should be like that too.
I think it should. I mean, like I said,
it's
I think. Well, the Continental is also still. It is based on like a lengthened like Fusion, basically. Which is bad. It should have launched with the Continental should have launched with the suicide doors from the beginning.
You know what they should take the Navigator platform, which I guess is the Expedition, and make a car out of that.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. That would be cool.
A huge, imposing car, and it would be amazing. Like it would have that cachet. It doesn't have to be reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I think they tried to make maybe that's where it fell through the cracks, was that they tried to make it reasonable. And so they based it on a reasonable car platform. So
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Do that, Lincoln. I think that'd be real cool. Then you get you'd get a concept car-esque like presence. Like it'd be like the CL, like the Cadillac CL or whatever.
Well, the Continental concept car was really
cool.
Because I
cool.
I shot it and everything, and it was.
I remember. Yeah,
it was so cool, and
man,
they just kind of screwed up the proportions and
the door handles.
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah,
it was bad. But what else did we see? We saw other good unsuspecting things.
Every GM car has the same interior, and it's like this weird V.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Cadillacs were all really disappointing. Just
Cadillacs were all
simplistic and in a not good way.
I know, which is so, and they had a really diminutive display.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Houston Auto Show, like that. You got to chalk it up to that.
I guess so. Surprising pluses, the Lexus. It was the first time I'd ever sat in an LC.
The LC was the interior is really good.
So high quality.
Yeah.
Like, man, so surprising. And like, I haven't kept up to date with how impactful these new Lexuses are. But the LC should be a game changer. Like it elevates Lexus now.
Yeah.
Like, whereas it was just kind of like I don't know that it was ever like a middling luxury manufacturer like Acura or Infiniti. But like it certainly wasn't far behind. And
I hope that the Roadster version, I hope they sell a lot, because I think it's perfect Roadster.
Beautiful.
I think it. Yeah. I think the type of buyer. It's a type of buyer that's like, I don't really want a 911. I want something, and I'm not judging someone. I'm like someone that like just wants a dedicated luxury high-end coupe.
Yeah.
And I think as a convertible, it becomes more versatile, more of a nice weekend toy that you can just cruise in the city, and it looks spectacular.
Speaking of presence, like that car has so much presence, like the scale and just everything about that car is really well done.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we then immediately went to, maybe it was right after, but we went to Aston, and the quality difference was astonishing because like the interior, what was
the old one?
Yeah. No.
Oh, the new one.
What did we sit in first? I forget.
The Vantage.
Was it the Vantage? Okay, like the Camaro-esque interior is the only way I can describe how accentuated they made all like.
Yeah, like
it was just too much.
It has like these twin center air vents that they have almost like a kidney grill around the air vent where it's like really sculptural.
They gave it personality, which was a mistake, because the whole point of Aston Martin in the past was that it was like this discreet British car that was aggressive.
The contrast,
only when you wanted it to be.
The
but now
contrast between the Vantage and the LC was pretty shocking. It was funny is like we said they had the DB11 and they had the DBS Superleggera, which is a DB11, and they had the Vantage, but they had an old, I want to say
it was
Vanquish question mark.
Oh.
It was they had an old Zagato, but old DB7, but they had open, like old as in, I think you can still buy a quote-unquote Vanquish, but it's basically a DB9.
It had the old Volvo interior.
But which looked great.
Yeah, it looked great.
And it had like those glass buttons with the chrome, like tiny chrome trim, like 1-point hairline chrome trim, and
like,
it looked
they
great.
should have stuck like with an evolution of that, because it was just so much better. Like, it didn't seem forced. Like, I mean, like, that's the problem, is that it works in the Camaro interior because like it's an aspirational car, versus this is not it's supposed to be the car. Yeah. And it seems aspirational, and that's kind of a shame. So I hope, I mean, this is probably obviously an indicator of where they're going to go from now on. So it's fine. It's aggressive. Why does it have to be aggressive? Like, they have aggressive cars, but why does every car have to be aggressive? The DB11 is still
too aggressive, but I think they really wanted to diverge like the Vantage from the DB11. So it's like, this is the luxury one, GT. This is the sports car, and I think that's kind of the difference.
Yeah. Do they still make the Rapide?
They might or may not. I'm not sure.
I don't know. There certainly wasn't one there. No. But I don't know. I just like, that's a forgotten car that was sort of interesting for a second.
It was super interesting and beautiful, but it's like, I guess people didn't actually want like a useless sedan that's very pretty but doesn't perform as well as the.
And I bet you they're really cheap now.
Oh my god, that would be a good BRZO search.
That would be a great BRZO search. Horrible buy. Yeah. But they're coming out with the Lagonda SUV. Yeah. Which are okay, whatever. Everyone's gonna make an SUV now, or a crossover.
Is that electric?
Probably.
I feel like Lagonda was gonna be their all electric.
Oh, I don't know.
Nameplates.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I skimmed the headline on that one a little bit.
Did we see anything else? We saw some really boring BMWs.
Oh, we sat in. Oh, okay. So we sat in the luxury Korean cars.
The Equus.
We sat in the Equus.
The Genesis G90. Pardon me.
Yeah. And I think we sat in the Kia equivalents as well, the K900 or something like that. And observation, even though really well executed, like very luxurious, obviously, reclining rear seats, leather,
airport
wood,
trays.
Everything. Yeah. The difference was that like there was still just something like that. And this is my speculation, but there was still something that still kind of did not make it feel premium. It felt like a nice normal car and not like a nice.
You kind of nailed it.
Car. And it's the scale of buttons,
and
like
the typefaces on the buttons.
Typefaces. It's that because we immediately went into the new G class and or the G-Wagen, and it's that for some reason in those cars the buttons are huge. Like, all the buttons are huge. I mean, they're very accessible. They're very usable. And they're probably carryovers a little bit from their normal cars. But, like, in the Mercedes, the buttons are uselessly tiny. Yeah. And that's amazing. And it makes the dashboard so minimalistic as a result, even if it is busy. Yeah. It felt more premium the more useless it was. And so that's the difference. Like, so I think that's the one barrier they have to true like luxury perception, is that they have to shrink all their switchgear, the typefaces for everything.
It's not just an aesthetic thing. Like you said, there's something like something has to be a pain in the ass. Like something has to be hard. Like you have to squint to read it. You know, like George Costanza. It's like something needs to be slightly inconvenient.
Do not appeal like for usability. Like that is. Bad idea. That's what an Accord is for. Like the huge dial fonts. Like that's fine for an Accord. Now make it really tiny. Yeah. And fine. It's just fine. Actually, that's what it is. Just make everything really fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's supposed to be a fine automobile. We'll make everything fine and delicate.
Well said.
Yeah. So, and then we sat in the new G-Wagen, and
Yeah, I don't like it.
like it felt like we've said all along, like a simulacra of what the old one is supposed to be. Like it's so forced.
Yeah.
And I mean, it has the thunk, I guess, but even then, like
We don't know if that wasn't thunk piped to the speakers.
yeah, exactly. So it was fine. I guess they'll always have a buyer for that truck, so it doesn't matter. And what else did we see? Oh, the Ranger. We saw the new Ford Ranger, which was like surprisingly small. Like it was like.
Oh, did you say
small, but
Ford
normal.
Ranger or $45,000 Ranger?
Yes, it was $45,000, of course. But it was like that was like a properly sized truck. Like I would not mind that, although it's still also like a Raptor. And we saw like a lot of special Raptors, like the Shelby Raptor, the Hennessy Raptor.
I didn't even look at those. I was too busy looking at the Mazda 3, which I loved, and I sat in and got yelled at for sitting in, but it was worth it.
Yeah. Oh man, in person,
very striking.
So good.
The surfacing is just
so
masterful, you know?
Yes. Like Mazda, like out of the ballpark, like for a long time now.
Yeah.
With, the execution.
But it's I mean, I've thought the CX3 and CX5 were all, and CX9 were really, really good.
Yeah.
And in the new 6, but like this, it's like they're doing more with fewer lines, fewer cut lines, fewer things.
They've dialed it back. It's just like they've dialed it back. It's simplicity. It's not even just simplicity. It's just honesty and form.
Yeah.
There's just no extra cladding anywhere. Like there's no like belt line strip or whatever. Like
light catchers.
Yeah. Like everyone who is buying a like just normal regular segment car, buy a Mazda. Like why aren't you doing that? It's just so much better. Everything, interior, exterior, driving. Like
so would you get the sedan or coupe or hatch?
Ooh, good question, because like the controversy is around the C-pillar and how like enormous it is, and it is indeed enormous.
Yes. Can confirm.
Yeah, I don't know. The hatchback is so unique.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, the sedan is, like, perfect.
It's really pretty.
It's just, there's no wrong line on that car. So that would be a tough one. I don't know. Probably the hatch just for utility and uniqueness. But it'd be it's the same notion of E36 M3. Like, I would still get a sedan, even though the coupe is far prettier. But yeah, just, it's a good car. Like the whole lineup is really good. Yeah. So, I think those are kind of the highlights.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. We don't have to go. We don't have to go too much more in depth. I think we like. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that we wanted to talk about that Carrera GT.
Oh yeah, the Porsche Classics. The Porsche Classics restored Carrera GT that just popped up recently.
What's funny is like I saw like Lee Keen posted this on his stories like 4 months ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a new thing.
No, it is. It was in all the news this week, but I think it was floating around like Porsche Experience Center Atlanta.
Yeah.
For the past few months. But now the story came out.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I think it's bad, and also that they're restoring like a Carrera GT. Like at this point, like. It almost seems like a marketing exercise.
No.
I know it's not, but it's just
someone came to them with a dump truck full of money and said, "I want my Carrera GT to be a little bit different. I want you to do it." And they said yes.
And
what's funny is like I asked our 918 man in September. I said, "Hey, like." I was like, what if, because we would every meal we would just ask Porsche questions. Porsche questions to this guy.
Yeah.
And Andrew, who's super cool, the best, and I was like, what if you had a Carrera GT, you wanted the factory to just make it like new and make it like Project Gold? Yeah. Would they do it? And he was like, I don't know. It's a good question. And it was like weeks later, I see this oak green one online.
To me, it's just kind of like the 959 SC.
That's exactly what I thought. I told this to Will. Will and I talked about this, friend of
It's
the
just-
show, and
I'm sure you could make it better and unique. It's just, but why do you need to? You bought a
Right.
masterpiece.
right,
Why put a mustache on the Mona Lisa? Like, because it's just unnecessary.
right, or more specifically, why put like a Macklemore haircut on the Mona Lisa? Because
Yeah.
it's something that like extremely ties it to like this specific period.
I'm all for like conceptual art. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think that there are other cars that are like better suited for this type of treatment. I don't think the 959 or the Carrera GT are those cars. However, like, I don't know.
Here's my thing.
Go on.
I just think it goes a little too far.
Yeah.
I think so. So this, I come back to the McLaren F1 program, where with the MSO, like if you bought a McLaren, if you bought a McLaren F1 in 2006,
Yeah.
and you said, I bought this car used, but I want the factory would like. You basically would go through the new car process like you were ordering it in 1994.
Yeah.
The factory would do that.
Yeah.
You would basically pick a new color, pick an interior, have it refitted, have it refreshed thoroughly at a huge expense.
Yeah.
And I think generally, those McLaren F1s that have been refitted, like I think they were done with an integrity to the period. I think there was something like there was some like maybe some updates, but it was like, a color that was probably one offered. If someone said, I want a Carrera GT and I want it to be oak green, I want it to be done from Porsche, I think I'd be okay with that. But I think it's all the little things, the gold and then the like custom finished wheels and then everything else that ties it to this time.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's kind of like it's like the
like
993. It's like the brand new 993. Like, they had to black out the wheels, like, just because it's what you do now. But it looked horrible.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's a whole. It's an old car, and you can certainly update and modify an old car. There's nothing wrong with that. But the sensitivity it's just the sensitivity. Like, where's the line? I guess.
Right.
And they've kind of crossed it. And I guess this is kind of the way forward, that they're going to be restoring cars, at least for. Like, this is how they're going to present themselves. Like, this is the face of like Porsche classic restoration.
I mean,
now.
I like the idea of restoring cars. I just don't like the idea of these custom touches that tie it to
exactly.
this year.
I don't like the modernization.
If it was just a oak green Carrera GT with the
that'd be
standard
great.
wheels, and,
yeah,
like I would be all about that.
Yeah.
But it's all the little touches that tie it to this year.
You know why?
I exactly thought of the 959 SC made by Canepa. So we should talk about that for a second, because it kind of flew under the radar. But it was presented at Luftgekalt this year, but it was a Canepa, Bruce Canepa Motorsports, like it's a big operation.
Or Canepa, one of the other.
Santa Cruz, and they have been federalizing and legalizing and tuning and maintaining 959s for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically decided they wanted to be like the singer of 959 and like, take one and strip it, repaint it, and like, you get whatever and it's upgraded, but it's like you're taking something that was a 959 and doing
it was perfection of an era represented, and that was the whole point.
Right.
Like, that it wasn't like a modern Porsche, like that it was. I mean, there are cars that are far superior in performance now, but that's not the point, to try to either match that or bring it. I mean, I'm like dramatizing a little bit, but it's just like, it's the same person who goes and buys like eBay parts to make their old car like the same. They update it with like eBay parts that make it look like a modern version of the same mark. Like, putting like, to a lesser extent, like 997.1, when you put like LED taillights from like a 0.2 on there from eBay, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. Like, you've bought a car that's supposed to represent like a specific period of performance and like awe and inspiration, and then now instead you are acting on like what seems like it's just the immediate whims of interest. Like this owner was like, "Oh, I like black rims now." So here we go. It doesn't have any
the Carrera
relation.
GT, they were on that Carrera GT. They were polished lips.
Oh yeah.
Well, not polished because it was magnesium. So
Okay.
they had to apply silver coating to give it the polished look.
Yeah.
And gold spokes.
Yeah. It all seems done without consideration.
Well, it seems like it really ties it to this era.
Exactly.
I would rather have like a silver or steel gray Carrera GT because that's like the iconic, like that's the Carrera GT.
And like there are cars that are better and faster now, but that's
well, apparently Andrew also told us that like the latest generation of tires on a Carrera GT brings it to a new level.
Oh, really?
Of performance.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so amazing. And then I was finding Will and I had a big discussion about this.
Yeah.
And he sent me this quote from Walter Rohrl,
yes,
test driver and rally driver extraordinaire. Yeah. And he says like, he's like, I have a Carrera GT and it's still on the original tires because we never got it. He's like, there was never a tire that was really right for the car.
Oh my God.
He said this. He said it was he basically said it was bad. He basically said the car was never good until tires got better. It was an old quote. And I was like, that's an interesting quote from like ostensibly the chief test driver, the chief development driver of the Carrera GT.
That's crazy.
But apparently the latest tires, the latest generation, they make them in Carrera GT sizes and it brings it to like a new level of performance. Like it takes it to a next notch, you know?
It's crazy also that like he just had these old tires on.
Well, I mean, the quote might have been like him in like 2009, 6 years after, but he was saying like, he was basically saying he hadn't done enough mileage to require changing the tires because it just wasn't like, it wasn't a car that he drove very often.
Yeah.
We'll post the quote. I'm watching it, but it was interesting.
That's cool. I wonder if like that's the same way with when they redeveloped the tires for the XJ220.
Yeah.
Like that, like all these years, you just had to, wear. I guess you would have had to swap. You would have, if you really wanted new tires, you'd have to switch the rims out or something like that. But maybe it's an improved experience. I don't know.
Well, the Carrera GT it is.
Yeah,
for sure. I believe it's.
I'd love to speak to our contact down here who has a Carrera GT.
You've got to point out the building to me because I always wonder when I drive by.
Oh yeah, I'll point it out to you. There's a secret Porsche collection in my neighborhood that is more than impressive, and like just in terms of selection and the slot car replica of Laguna Seca.
Does he have any 118s?
Yes, actually he had a wall of 118s, including the well, here's the thing.
No. Oh wait, yes, a wall of them.
I know, I had to think about it because like I remember seeing one and it was of the 918 that he bought before his arrived.
Ooh.
And I now remember that there was a whole like wall surrounding that. But here's the thing. Yes, emphatically, because the architect who helped build out the interior, he took the model. So, it has like the plexi box around it. He took the model with the plexi box around it and said, I want my 918 to look like this, but in real life.
Oh my
God. The architect built a huge glass enclosure.
Wow.
With the charging port, etc., for the 918.
That's so cool.
And this collector, who prefers, I think, anonymity, uses all of his cars. Like he skipped out, like when he got the 918, he skipped out on the pre-delivery, whatever, inspection setup, whatever, and he arrived at the dealership, said, "Can I just take this out right now?" He took it to Austin and back, and then when he got back, he let them do their pre-delivery, whatever.
Wow.
And he did that with his Carrera GT as well.
Yeah,
he took it to West.
Yeah, he took it to Marfa or something.
Yeah.
So cool.
Which is so cool. Yeah. So he uses that car.
Well, I've seen his 911R like on Westheimer.
Yeah. The silver with the green stripes. Yeah. And I think he sold that.
Really?
Yeah. Either he's gonna get like I forget what he had sold that for, but we ran into him with his 918.
Yeah.
When what did he tell us? What was the story? Like he
He told us several stories.
He told us several stories. But he's an interesting guy. And he sold like he used to have like one of every iteration of 356, and then realized that was just like a silly thing to do, and so he got rid of several of them, and he sold one to Jerry Seinfeld. And I have no idea. I have no way of confirming delicately if it's the one that is perhaps in the news currently. But anyways, so yeah, no, he just has like the ones that he likes, which is a good way to collect as opposed to the one of everything.
Yeah.
Which there are other collectors in Houston who are also very nice people, but they have a different method of collecting.
Sure.
So, shall we move on to our new game, which we've yet to really name or anything, but it's a version of FMK.
We should call it Fuchs, Marry, Kill.
Oh yeah, Fuchs, Marry, Kill. So the last few episodes we've been exploring, picking a year and looking at the cars that came out in that year and picking cars to Fuchs, Marry, Kill.
Yeah, so we pick a car to drive once, daily, and what's the last one? Crush.
Yeah, Crush.
So we decided to change
Crush
it
with a
so
K.
that we decided to change it so we were picking cars for the other person, and we were picking for the year this time, 1982.
1982, which is a great year.
Is it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't born in that year because I am
God, you are so old.
Forever 28. Okay, so we have to pick. So how this game works is that I'm going to pick 3 cars, or we're going to pick 3 cars. What's that?
I already read the rules.
Oh, we did? Oh.
No, go ahead. Wait, we have to flip a coin.
Oh, shit. I mean, wow, I don't have a coin. I do have a coin. I have like a whole jar, but we have headphones on. Hang on. Oh, I got it. Hang on.
We don't have to flip a coin. I'll just go first.
No.
Oh, God.
No, we're gonna do this right. I have something we can flip.
We've never done anything right.
Okay, I've just pulled something out of my credenza. It is a coaster. Okay, so.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll pick I have the Japan side.
Japan side up. Okay. This is like that episode of Frasier where Niles tries to flip a coin and ends up destroying half the living room. Okay.
What are you? Christ. Okay, you won.
I go first.
Okay. Well,
All
good
right.
luck.
Okay, so
you're
I
picking
choose
cars
for
for
you.
me.
I'm going to choose 3 cars for you, and you have to FMK these 3 cars.
Do I get to protest, or
No.
do I just sit here and listen?
You just get to choose your FMK. That's it.
Okay.
You can't protest.
Sure.
All right. First one is going to be the Cadillac Cimarron, which also came out in 82.
That's the crush.
The Reliant.
Wait, what is these for? What are they?
What?
Are you? Oh wait, we're not. You're not assigning the order.
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I am giving you your choices here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cadillac Cimarron, first one. I'm gonna go with the Volvo 700 series, which would be the 740, the 760, and then the Reliant Rialto, which is the successor to the Reliant Robin.
What the fuck is this choice? These are.
Look at that beauty.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I would drive that once.
Okay. All right. The Reliant Rialto, the 3-legged.
Can you bring up the Cimarron?
Yeah. Do you know that? Okay. Are you familiar with the history of the Cimarron?
Maybe.
It is Cadillac's introduction.
Is this like the Citation made by Cadillac?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look at the.
Can I crush all 3?
No.
I thought you were trying to pick cars that were like, I don't know.
I wanted to give you tough choices.
This is bullshit.
No, this is tough choices.
Okay, I would drive the Cimarron once. I guess I would daily the Volvo.
All right.
No, I've drive the Reliant once, crush the Cadillac, and daily the Volvo.
These are actually very logical choices that you've just made.
Oh yeah, you don't give me much here.
All right. These are interesting cars in their own
Okay,
right.
all right. Here's what I got for you.
Oh God, you already chose yours.
See, I'm not going to go into it.
Oh, you were rational about this.
No, I wasn't. Mitsubishi Pajero.
I believe it's Pajero.
Mercedes W201.
I believe it's... Oh, I didn't make anything up for that.
And Volvo 760.
Oh. I need a refill here to consider this.
You gotta pour next to the mic. God, just for the
I
listeners.
Can't multitask. Okay. Remind me what those were again.
Mitsubishi Pajero, Mercedes W201, and the Volvo
You
7.
paid cars like I like all of them.
Because I thought that's what we were doing. I thought I was
No,
assigning
But
which one you
to be
would
fair,
FMK.
we've done the exact same thing. I chose all terrible cars, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
noticed.
chose all good cars.
Yeah, because I'm a good, considerate person.
Okay, fine. I will drive the Volvo once because the 760 is the 6-cylinder with the Renault engine, which is very bad, but probably
Yes.
interesting.
Okay.
Then I would. Oh, it's a tough one. The Pajero, or the 201. I like the 190e. Shit. I'm not a truck person, so I'm gonna marry the daily the 201, and then I guess I have to crush the Pajero.
Really? Okay. See, I assigned them, and I figured you would drive the Pajero once, daily 201, and I was banking on the Volvo because I knew that either it was good or bad, and you've just told me it was bad, so I was banking on crushing the Volvo. But I wanted to make it tough for you.
That was tough. That was very tough. Ooh, my God. There you go. So that is the first iteration of FMK. Fuchs. Drive once, marry,
Did I
drive
just
once.
spit on you?
Yeah, that
God
was
damn
some
it.
distance because I'm sitting across the
Okay.
room from you.
Hey, wait! I have a literature.
Wait, okay. I thought we were going to read through the list of cars that came out in 82 real quick.
It's a short list.
Oh, God. It is a short list. Okay, we're going to do this. Interesting notes, cars of note. E30 came out, as did the Chrysler Fifth Avenue, which was what is his name on Breaking Bad? Why can't I think of his name?
Was that Jesse's car? No.
No.
Mike.
It was Mike's car.
Really?
Yeah, so that was the exact same Fifth Avenue that came out.
Dodge Rampage.
Pretty
awesome.
Yeah. Ford Ranger. What is the Lotus XL?
I looked at it. It was a front engine weirdo thing.
Whoa, that's so like future retro. That's kind of cool. It's like a little hatchback thing or a sport like shooting brake kind of. Let's see, Starion. That's cool.
Starion's cool. I almost put it in my list.
Yeah. The only USDM one for Nissan was the Sentra.
Yeah, and I would not be able to tell you what a 1982 Sentra looks like.
Yeah. Oh man, that's terrible. The Oldsmobile Fienza.
That's like the Cimarron of Oldsmobiles.
Whoa, that is bad. Oh man,
that's very bad.
That is not aspirational at all, as I think it was meant to be. Pontiac 6000, which had that crazy steering wheel, did it?
No, maybe eventually.
No, we're all clicking on. These are all the same car.
They're all the same
this
car.
This is whatever GM body it was. The 944 came out.
944 came out. Yeah,
that's cool.
What is that GM body? Is that the G body? No. It's got to be because it's post. Because the G body was rear wheel drive.
Let's see, real quick.
It might say on the right side, body class.
You're right. A body.
A body.
It was the A body. So
garbage.
Wow. I don't know if all these cars were. Yeah, actually
What are the related cars?
Let's see. The A body had
the Celebrity.
Related cars are Buick Century, Celebrity, and Cutlass
My mom
Sierra.
had a Buick Century.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, yeah, Century wagon.
My dad had a Cutlass Sierra.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the Cimarron platform? Because it's different.
Let's see. The Cimarron. I think the Cimarron was rear-wheel drive.
It looks.
I might be very wrong. Front drive. Nope. I was very wrong. It was a J body.
J body.
I don't even know. Okay, so the related cars are the Skyhawk.
Okay, that shitty Oldsmobile
It was a
Forenza.
Cavalier
Yeah.
in the 2000 Sunbird.
I
Oh,
think my grandfather had... Ooh, that's a nice looking Sunbird. I think my grandfather had a Skyhawk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is the Skyhawk? I don't even know what that is.
It's the same thing.
It had kind of like a 70s retro front end.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Camry came out.
Camry came out, but again, it's not the Camry we know and love.
No, it's like a not good. It's the V10. It doesn't even have a X in front of it.
Wow.
It's just the V10.
Just like the LFA.
Yeah. The Master Ace, which I think was actually the Toyota van here.
That one in the thumbnail looks really cool.
Yeah. Then the Volvo 700 series, which my mom had a 85. She bought a brand new 85 740 GLE, and she was deciding between that and I think an E30 318.
Ooh. Aren't they like completely different sizes?
They are, and I think that's why she went with this Volvo because it was bigger.
Yeah.
So, and both are probably equally problematic, but it would have been cool to have. I don't know if I would have, like at the time I was first driving, if I would have recognized the E30 as like cool.
Right. You just clicked on 92.
Oh no.
It's fine.
Moved around. Anyways, yeah, so because the last car is a Westfield 11.
It's a Lotus 11 kit car.
Okay. All right. Little chirp.
Okay. It is.
Yes.
A 1986 Carrera.
Whoa, what the F?
For you, it's not as nice as I thought the condition would be.
No, what did you do? Look at that. That's so nice.
Yes, well.
You got me.
It's got some neat stuff.
Yeah, so this is a 1986 Porsche 911 Carrera, which is the same year as my car.
Interesting, it doesn't have your color in the color code, but it does have photos of your color.
That's so funny. I wonder if it wouldn't have been paint to sample. There it is. That's my car.
That's your color.
Yeah. Wait. Are those gold Fuchs?
They might be. There's a couple pictures of like the cookie cutters.
Oh,
which I didn't even know they offered.
Maybe those are cookies. Yeah.
No,
like, those are 15s.
It's got too much of a dish though.
Those are 15s.
Are they 15? Are they okay?
I think, yeah, those are 15s with a deep dish. Like Bring a Trailer, they sold 15 7 and 8s today.
Yeah.
But that looks good. The only thing that doesn't look good is the scoops.
Right.
2 scoops of no thank you. I gotta say, like, I don't usually like the cab, but like kind of looks good with the phone dials.
Are those cookie? Are those? I assume those were cookie cutters.
They might be. I'm not sure.
They might be phone dials. You might be right.
And here's my car again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost certain those are like gold Fuchs, which would be kind of really cool.
Really cool.
15 gold Fuchs. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that. I'm doing a trifold thing here. Really doesn't help like to magnify the quality detailing of the car.
Oh my god, that's a 4-page fold out of that interior.
It is. It's a 4-page fold out. That's so cool.
I'm genuinely impressed that they were able to like take that photo.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. That's the stereo that I wanted to get, the retro stereo that I wanted to get. But like these are like $800 now, which
That's ridiculous.
Very dumb. Look how everything looks like it works.
This typeface is insane. It's like big Caslon or something.
It is, yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
Like with the really high contrast.
That's also the body copy, which is interesting.
Oh
my god. I would have loved, and if I ever need to redo my seats, which I probably won't ever, but I would love to do this pinstripe cloth.
It's so cool.
Look, okay. I think this was the first year. 85 was the first year with power seats, which means that you get heated seats.
Oh.
I would have loved that. You would love that tonight when you go home.
I would love that tonight. Can you retrofit it? Are you gonna?
No, it'd be so expensive.
Oh, really?
Because I'd rather get sports seats if I'm gonna change something out.
But can they be heated? No.
Yeah, they can be.
Why don't you do that?
I would just have to find that rare combination.
Oh yeah.
Which would probably be near impossible. Well, it's not a badly designed brochure.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, this is like very educational. Like they really go through everything.
In the end, they have their real like paint samples.
Oh, really?
Which I love.
Oh, that's cool.
That.
Oh, yeah. So this year...
Oh, so it was phone dials.
You could get phone dials as 15s, or you could get
Why does that look like
as
a
16.
Saab?
It was probably a Saab. Look how much faster it's going than the cabriolet, because that cabriolet is catching all that
drag with
drag.
Yeah.
From the folded top hump. Here's the Targa. I wonder if this is the same brochure.
Where do you think these photos were shot? Obviously America, because it's US spec cars. That looks like Southwest.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Look at the valence. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, okay. This image is... There's a lot to take apart in this image of the cabriolet.
That's like an M491.
Yeah. It's a wide body cabriolet. I don't know if that was available in 86, but look at the front valence too. It's different.
Is it?
Yeah.
What makes it different?
Do you see how it's like split up instead of a continuous valence? It's like a segmented valence.
No. No, I don't see.
What? Right here, this line. Do you see right by the fog lamp?
Okay, that's weird. Because
Yeah.
it's not on the other side.
It's weird, but also like this is I guess it would be an M491, but I thought these were G50. That was a G50 option.
No, I think it just wasn't that popular until later.
Maybe, but that's super cool because they don't mention it. It's called the Carrera Sport Package.
Which usually has a tail.
Yeah, it looks good without a tail.
It does.
Honestly. Whoa, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, M491 would be a tail because it's like turbo look.
Yeah, it's turbo look. I wonder if there's like a Euro only thing you could kind of...
But it was an American car. It had scoops.
I'm sure like... Oh yeah, you're right. It did have... Whoa, maybe it was
It's
a
so
prototype. This image is really like perplexing.
I feel like every image in this brochure is like not a car you could buy because they, like I said, they don't list the color.
I wonder if like this was actually like shot in Germany, but they just like retrofitted the scoops
with Photoshop 0.0.
Yes, actually, yeah, I don't know.
Dodging and burning.
This is really confusing for like
that looks like the American Southwest, and it's a U.S. car.
Yeah, for like
all the cars have U.S. bumpers.
If you're a pedantic idiot about all this stuff, like we are, like this is like some of these images are kind of mind blowing because it's just things are not fitting.
There's a full what?
What?
There's a full lineup picture that's amazing.
This one?
Maybe no. There's one. Maybe the next page.
Oh,
isn't that cool?
That's super cool. It's every variant, and then also a 944 and a 928. Yeah, that's a really cool picture. And that gray one, the Meteor, gray metallic, has gold Fuchs. Like,
oh my god,
those were a factory option.
Not in this brochure.
Not in this brochure.
Because it showed the wheel
for somebody.
Like,
yeah. Oh man, those gold Fuchs. Here's another close up. But that looks really good.
Really good on yours.
Oh,
I showed you pictures.
I would totally. Oh yeah, look at that metallic flakes. This is like lead paint sampling.
I know. Like if you bought some 7s and 8s and you
That'd
had to
be cool.
refinish them, if you're gonna refinish them anyway,
I would do. Yeah, maybe get them wrapped or something so that it's not so permanent.
That would be better.
But that'd be super cool. Anyways, thank you. This was like really cool. Oh wait, it's right here. Medium metallic.
Oh, okay. I only saw the silver. I only skimmed that page.
My color code is Y5Y5. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I wonder if it has my interior, which is on my COA. It's listed as blue and gray. It's like some two-tone thing. It is definitely not in this brochure. But all right. Well, I think that is a podcast. Thank you for listening. We will see you the next one. Thanks for listening to episode number 20. Almost legal. All right. This will never be legal. Remember this. Goodbye.